Hello, 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 golf fans. Woo, I'm pooped. But Big D is back and ready to recap the PGA Championship. Before I bring in the nice special guest, please subscribe, like, and share the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page where you can see my content. Finally got a winner! Also, check out the Big D podcast for your audio listeners on Spotify and Apple. Well, if you took either one of our betting of my guest advice, you would have learned that both of us like Justin Thomas to win the PGA, and here to explain why we like JT is my friend, golfing analyst, expert. It's not Aaron Judge, but it's Tom. It's Tom. Tom, how are things going for you tonight, mate?
They're pretty good, buddy. They're pretty good after the win this weekend. If you could guess which player is on the back of this jersey, it's not Aaron Judge, then you would be superhuman because it is not the person that you think is going to be on the back of this jersey. I went to New York in 2018 and this was on a sale rack and I didn't even know the person played for them.
I've got a question. Does he play for the Yankees now?
I would have to Google it. Let me have a look.
What number is it? What number is it? I'm a baseball junkie.
Cannot even remember what number I've got on my back. He does not play for them anymore.
Brett Gardner?
No, he left in 2020 and now plays in Japan.
Oh, gosh. Huh. You got me thinking. Oh, Tanaka.
That's it. Masahiro Tanaka is on the back of my jersey.
Hey, he's richer than both of us put together.
Maybe not if we keep picking winners, Dylan. Hey.
Yeah. Speaking of winners, can you believe 8 days ago when we sat together, both of us picked Justin Thomas to win the PGA Championship? Why did you like JT at Southern Hills?
So we said to me, we said, oh no, this is it. We both picked the same person. That's never going to end well. And then I said, no, let's believe in it. It means we're on the right tracks. And here we are. I liked JT because he was playing well enough to win all season. He was a good putting week away from winning. He was lucky yesterday. I don't think there's any two ways about it. I don't think he should even have had a chance. He was 7 shots back going into the final round. Not since Van der Velde at the Open Championship have we had such a margin of a winner in the final round. But in the end, he deserved it, didn't he? He played very, very well on the final day. When everyone else had the kind of same opportunities, Rory McIlroy had the same opportunity, didn't do it. Rory McIlroy actually only shot one shot worse than Justin Thomas on the Sunday, but it felt a lot worse than that. What did he start off with? 4 birdies in the first 5 holes and then just pump the brakes for the rest of the round? Justin Thomas deserved it in the end, I think.
Yeah, and I look at how JT played the first 2 rounds in windier conditions, a lot like what he did at the Players, where he shot 67, 67, and those those rounds were more impressive than what Zalatoris, Mito Pereira, or other guys did with calmer conditions. And Justin Thomas did not give a believe what the wind was, how fast the green was, how hot it was, or maybe this weekend how cool it was for Tulsa. But JT just kept his game plan, kept a steady calm. Even on Saturday, when JT's round 1 in the toilet, he didn't shoot a 78, 79 and shoot himself out of the tournament. He kept it together. And on Sunday, he made enough shots when it mattered most. I mean, I knew when he made that birdie, I think it was at 11 or 12, that JT was not out of it. I just got that strange feeling that JT was not out of it and could still win. And I'm like, is he going to backdoor his way into the Wanamaker?
I think.
But go ahead.
I think he birdied both 11 and 12, didn't he?
Yeah, birdie 11 and 12. And I
Yeah.
knew he needed the birdie 13 and 17 because
So
I was thinking 7 under was going to win it.
yeah, I thought he had to do 13, 15, and 17.
Oh,
And he laid up on 13, didn't he? And hit a wedge shot, a pretty good wedge shot, but missed the putt. And then on 15 had a chance and didn't take advantage of it. And then 17 as well. Obviously, he birdied that. But, you know, there was a couple of times where I just felt he had the chances and didn't make the putts. And every time he gave me a bit of hope, he pulled back again. And then all of a sudden, it all came down to Mito Pereira on the final tee. And there's been a lot of talk about Mito Pereira shouldn't have taken driver off that final tee. Now, the way he was hitting the driver for most of the round, most of the week, I don't think necessarily the driver was the wrong play. It was how he hit that driver. It was such a strange shot to try and hit. He tried to hit this kind of bullet shot, and the follow through was hideous. I mean, even as soon as you didn't even need to see where it landed, you knew it wasn't good. And it was actually worse than when the cameras finally got out of it and found it in the creek, you knew that his tournament was over. But I thought maybe he could salvage a bogey, but he didn't. And I felt really sorry for him actually because I thought he performed really, really well. I thought he really deserved it. I know it wasn't a good final round in the sense that, what did he shoot? A 75 was it in the end?
75, yes.
And it wasn't even just that last hole, right? He made plenty of bogeys. I think he made 5 bogeys before that double. So, but it was just he was the best of a bad bunch, I think is the best way to put it. Everyone else no one wanted to win it. That was the difference. No one except for Justin Thomas had the goal to win it on the back nine. Tommy Fleetwood, Chris Kirk,
Will
Zalatoris. I mean, but with Fleetwood and Kirk, they weren't in it, right? They played really well to get into the top 5 is the difference. Whereas Thomas could have won. Zalatoris should have won. Pereira should have won. Cameron Young should have won. Matthew Fitzpatrick should have done better. Rory McIlroy should have won. Like, there's so many people that should have taken advantage. I mean, Rory McIlroy was in the second round was unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable.
Absolutely. And by the way, you mentioned John Van Gogh. JT's 7-shot 54 comeback is the third highest. I think it's like the third highest comeback since Paul Lawrie overcame a 10-shot deficit in 99. And let me see if I've got the other ones. Jack Burke Jr. at the 1956 Masters. And actually, JT was 8 back after bogeying the third.
Yeah. And didn't he shank it on that hole as well? So he won he won the PGA Championship with a shank in the final round.
That's all that's all.
Did he deserve it, Dylan? I think is the question. I think yes, in the end. I think he did enough in the end to deserve it. But it really was down to the fault of players that didn't follow through as opposed to him really coming from the clouds.
I would argue yes and no. Yes for how JT played the first 2 rounds in the playoff, but not for how he played the third round over the final round. Because, to be honest, I think JT would even say it himself. He did not play well enough on Saturday, while Pereira shot under par in really un-Tulsa-like weather.
Yeah.
And be honest, even though JT won the tournament, we all felt great for him. I don't think he really deserved it because you got to play well for 72 holes. You can't play well for just 20 holes and then have something bad happen to it. Hope something bad happens to another guy.
Yeah, and that's how I feel a little bit. I feel like I've stolen a win here with Justin Thomas as opposed to deserve it. But you need the guys that step up. Zalatoris had the same opportunity, didn't win it in the playoff, right? Cameron Young would have had the same opportunity, didn't do it on the final couple of holes. Now, Cameron Young hasn't won on the PGA Tour. Will Zalatoris hasn't won on the PGA Tour. Mito Pereira hasn't won on the PGA Tour. Matt Fitzpatrick hasn't won on the PGA Tour. And that was the difference. Justin Thomas stood forward, got it done when he needed to. you know, Cameron Young had a chance to get into the playoff, didn't. Mito could have salvaged bogey, didn't. Fitzpatrick was terrible down the stretch, barring a one chip in. You really need to have that kind of winning edge to perform in these major championships, and JT showed that.
Yeah, and it also helps, and I think it also helps that not just you've got the experience, but the caddy also showed his experience because JT doesn't win the PGA without Bones Mackay yesterday.
No, and it's kind of like poetic justice that Bones won after, you know, being fired by Mickelson or passing ways of Mickelson, and Mickelson winning it last year. But interestingly enough, did you know that? Because I didn't know this, Mito Pereira's caddy was Scotty Scheffler's old caddy that he had fired. So if Mito Pereira had won yesterday, the caddy that Scheffler had fired would have won the very next major that Scheffler had won.
Why the heck couldn't Buffer have been in contention?
I know.
Then he could have won.
Yeah, taking it from Ted Scott. It's mad, isn't it? It's really mad how this revolving door goes. But who would you say impressed you the most, Dylan? We've obviously talked about JT, we talked about Zalatoris. Who was the kind of name that impressed you the most that maybe didn't get the job done but was solid all week?
Be honest, I'd argue in a way. Let me see. I mean, I think Will Zalatoris is the easy one because I saw you tweet about this, that Will Zalatoris has recorded, I think it's 5 top 8 finishes.
Yep.
In his major career.
Yep. Eight major starts. He's made 5 top 8s.
Not bad.
Not bad, is it? First top 8. First 8. The worrying thing, Dylan, for me is that everyone says that when Will Zalatoris putts well, he's going to win.
Well, he putted well.
And he putted well in every single one of those major performances, and he doesn't win. So when's it going to happen then? Because it's not happening.
Is it the John Rahm factor where he's like second, third, and then all of a sudden you're like, when is it going to happen?
He will win. And I don't know what tournament it's going to be in. I'd like it to be the US Open or the Open, but I don't think it will be after yesterday's showing. He needs to get a win under his belt, and as soon as he gets that win, he is the next best profile to do what Scotty Scheffler's done this year.
Hey, you know what? With all the Texas golfers, they could wrangle up all the majors or wannabe majors in that group.
Well, Davis Riley was right up there as well, wasn't he? I know he's obviously not from he's Mississippi, but he lives in Texas now and rooms with Will Zalatoris, and he was there for a good period of time.
It was interesting seeing the Wake Forest guys in the next to last pairing yesterday.
Well, that was the thing. I thought that was going to help Will Zalatoris because they're buddies, they're practice partners. I thought that was going to be a really comfortable pairing for both of them, and it just didn't really transpire for either one of them.
So obviously, with every golf tournament, there's a winner and there's unfortunately a loser. And oh man, I felt gutted for Mito when he hit that water shot at 18. I mean, we've all been there. We've all gotten the nerves before a big moment, big tournament, and oh man, I felt.
I mean, that's how I feel, Dylan, when you asked me to come on the podcast.
No. I mean, no, I mean, I know people are going to compare this with what happened with Vanderbilt in '99, or I mean, Mito became the first guy to double bogey while leading on the 72nd hole of the major since Monty and Phil Mickelson did it on Wingfoot in 2006. But I just take it I think I would look on the positive and say, Mito, you've played well for 71 holes and you just hit one bad shot. I mean, we all hit bad shots. Tiger had bad shots. Roy had bad shots. JT had bad shots. Hell, Scotty Scheffler and Dustin Johnson didn't even make the cut. Yeah,
I think you do. I mean, there was a definite wave advantage. So we obviously didn't know that when.
And yet the guy who played in crappier conditions won.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know that, right? When we picked Justin Thomas, we didn't know that. really definitively until probably Tuesday afternoon, probably at the earliest. I think for Mito, once he's had a couple of weeks to look at it, should look at it as a massive positive. That's his second major start. He's never won on the PGA Tour, and he had a real chance to win. I don't think he's going to be able to look at it like that at the moment because, that was really disappointing. It was really tough the way he lost. And it was just the nature of doing it. It was the decision. That was the main thing I thought was the decision, the way he hit it, not even to use driver, but just the way he hit it was really, really strange. But who did you think was the most disappointing yesterday?
I need to say more, but Mr. McElroy, where was your putter yesterday? Especially on the back nine, because it seemed like you hit every second shot within 10 feet, and I don't remember any birdies.
I think the problem with McElroy was the earlier rounds, right? He shoots a 65 on Thursday, strutting around like he owns the place. Gets to Friday and just does absolutely nothing in perfect conditions. Could have made a load of birdies. Gets to Saturday, him and JT just stink the house out with rounds of 74. Both of them, in really good positions to obviously win there. Rory was still only 5 back after that really poor second round. Justin Thomas was only 3 back, and both of them shoot 74 and seemingly played their way out of it, you thought at that point, with Justin Thomas sort of just lurking. But it was weird. Rory had, 4 birdies in the first 5 holes, I think Rory made, and then he made a bogey on, I think it was 9, maybe 10. And then he just 6, and then he just did nothing else for the rest of the day. And just, that was it. Like, he did not make a single birdie after the 5th hole. And you think about all those, if he'd have birdied 12, 13, 15, and 17, like you'd needed him to do to win,
he would have won the darn tournament.
He would have won it. And that is a lot to ask, adding those on to the 4 birdies he'd already made, right? But the problem was he gave himself that much to do again. Just like the Masters, when he shot the round that he shot the Masters, he had absolutely no chance of winning it, and then went and shot the best round he had. And he had the opportunity to do that again yesterday and really go low, and he just hit the brakes, and that was it.
Why can't Roy put it together for all 4 rounds? Because we saw a great 65 on day 1, and yet it was day 2, game 3, and what might have been on day 4.
Really and truly, when you look at the round of 68 on the final day was only bettered by Justin Thomas. In the field, there was quite a few 68s, but the 67 was the best of the day. So he's shot the second best score of the day. It's just, Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 as well. But, he just put himself out of it. He was just out of it after the second and third round, and that was it. He just let himself down massively. And I don't know if it was trying to do something in front of Tiger. I don't know if it was dealing with the crowds. I don't know if it's, I'm in a position to win again, and what do I do from here? He's making winning majors look very, very difficult for someone that's won 4 or 5 of them already in his career.
Maybe it's the fact that Roy's been there and contended in literally every tournament the last couple of years, but yet Roy's not gotten over the hump, particularly in the majors. And when you're a top golfer, winning majors is what your season's define it. So what if you're Patrick Cantlay and win the FedEx Cup and get a whole $15 million? If you don't make the cut, if you don't have an appearance in majors, your season's a failure.
Yeah, there's literally no point. He should be taking the Adam Scott, the Justin Rose, the even Tiger route of just put all your eggs in one basket, win those major championships, and do nothing else, because he doesn't need to win any more PGA events. Certainly doesn't need to win on the DP World Tour. There probably won't be a DP World Tour the way this carries on. So, he just needs to get these major wins, and it needs to be the Masters, because until he wins that, he's not going to get that out of his head. I think it showed the pressure. He showed the pressure at the Masters the first couple of rounds. Jordan Spieth showed the pressure of trying to win the Grand Slam at the PGA Championship. And I don't know. I am always a little bit disappointed in Rory McIlroy, so I always sound a little bit harsh on him. But I think it speaks volumes of how good he is that he really should have done better, especially when you look at the people that finished second and third. You know, Zalatoris, Pereira, Cameron Young, Fitzpatrick, Chris Kirk. Where's Rory McIlroy?
You could, I mean, other than Justin Thomas, well, the major winners.
Yeah, there isn't one, is there? I mean, what do you go down to? Justin Rose, tied 13th.
Oh gosh,
that was the nearest guy, right? Webb Simpson in 20th.
Yeah, I was thinking like Webb Simpson's going to putt his way to it.
He was impressive. That's a good sign for Webb Simpson after that 65. And I'll tell you who was impressive as well. He obviously didn't do enough, but it was good to see Ricky Fowler kind of stay in and around the par for the week and finish inside the top 25.
He got a little home cooking from his Oklahoma days.
He did. Yeah, he loved it. So, I think whilst we focus a lot on the negatives, there are some positive performances to kind of keep our eyes on. So I thought, Bubba Watson's second round of 63 was incredible. I thought there was plenty to like. It was just, Colin Morikawa was disappointing. Brooks Koepka was disappointing.
DJ was very disappointing.
Obviously, DJ Scheffler, really disappointing. Patrick Cantlay, terrible.
Did Patrick Cantlay miss the cut at Augusta, or is my memory foggy?
Pretty sure he did. I just don't, I think with Patrick Cantlay, and you can't take wins away from people, but I'm going to make the case for you that you can, right? So Patrick Cantlay won at Memorial when John Rahm was 6 shots clear and had to withdraw due to COVID. He then won the Tour Championship that he had a lead in, which he didn't actually.
When Rahm actually would have.
Rahm shot the best 72-hole score. So Rahm should have won the Memorial. Rahm should have won the Tour Championship. And you can't take away the fact that he won the BMW Championship, apart from the fact he gained 14 strokes or whatever it was putting that week. So you look at his 3 wins out of 4.
He finished T39 at the Masters, 79, 71 on the weekend.
There you go.
That's just cut at the Players.
There you go. That's Patrick Cantlay for you.
And watch him probably win the Memorial next week. Like he's won that
twice. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll win when somebody else tests positive.
Yeah, he'll win once JT's tested positive for COVID on Sunday.
Oh god.
There's your early prediction. It was good. What did you think of the course?
I think the course was very interesting. It was long, but be honest, the first couple of days it didn't play that long. Especially Saturday, it played long, but I think the course was fine. Some people say the course led to Mito Pereira hitting the ball in the water, but I think the course was fine. It was tough, but major golf's supposed to be tough. You want everybody playing at 25 under. Justin Thomas won a PGA at 5 under. So what? Still won last year. So what? PGA Championships have become harder, yes. But if you end up with a stall winning, I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter, right? And I think if Justin Thomas if Scotty Scheffler, if Morikawa, Spieth, if any one of those were in Mito Pereira's position on Sunday, going into Sunday, they'd have finished at 9 under, and you'd have got the score line that you thought you were going to get this week. It was purely because the guys that were at 9 under and 6 under and all those sort of things were inexperienced. They were an inexperienced bunch of players. They didn't have the necessary experience to lean on into the final round of a major, and they came backwards. And Justin Thomas rose up a little bit, and that was it. And that was as simple as that. And that is all that happens at a major championship. You see these people climb to the fore at the end quite often. And, the true players, look, Justin Rose, 68 on the final day. Rory McIlroy, 68 final day. Tommy Fleetwood, 67 final day. Like, real stars seem to step forward in these major championships. Whether they're off the pace or not, Tyrrell Hatton, some of the best players in the world have hit the best rounds on the final day. So kind of says what you need to say, I think.
And by the way, Tyrrell hadn't shut up and stopped complaining about the golf course. Otherwise,
I can't believe he shot level par because he hates everything. He hates the absolute world. I can't believe he made the cut. I definitely would have had him to miss the cut.
I mean, I heard him complaining about the golf course, this is a crappy shut up, all this, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Tyrrell Hatton has never found a golf course that he likes.
Except his own course.
Yeah, or St Andrews.
Wait till St Andrews is blowing 40 miles an hour, then go get it, young fella.
Yeah, he won't like it in the major, but he likes it for the Dunhill links when he can shoot 25 under par.
Didn't he win the speaking of when, didn't he win the what was the Honda Bay Hill 2 years ago before COVID hit?
He won Bay Hill.
Okay, and that was a win affected week because I'm a Florida guy and we got win all that week.
Yeah, he was 4 under that week. He should be able to win at these tough courses. When you look at his DP World wins, 23 under par Dunhill links, 24 under par Dunhill links, 21 under par Italian Open, 20 under par Turkish Airlines Open, 19 under par at Wentworth, 18 under par at Abu Dhabi. I think we know what kind of setup Tyrrell Hatton likes.
Yeah, and that would not involve a major.
Yeah.
That would involve whatever tournament was the week before the PGA, the Charles
Byron Nelson.
Yeah,
we've got Charles Schwab this week, haven't we?
Colonial. So that means somebody's getting the jacket.
Yeah, it does indeed. That horrible check jacket.
Not quite my green jacket, though.
No, I much prefer the green jacket. I need to get myself one of those green jackets, actually.
Yeah, so green jacket. Yeah, maybe get it for St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, we can get something to do out. But that's it. I think ultimately, Dylan, we were right. We got the player right. I think his play on the first 2 days and how he played on Sunday just about warrants the victory.
Agreed.
The Saturday was bad, but
it was bad for everybody.
Yeah, and he made up for it. I think is the most important. Whereas others didn't, he did. So he did it.
And I know what JT's favorite number is now, 67.
Yeah, probably. I would have thought so. It was cool to see. I don't mind Justin Thomas. I think he's had some bad luck. He's had some bad moments last year and the year before. So I'm pretty happy for him.
Yeah, so thanks for hopping on, Tom. We wish Nottingham Forest well in the championship playoffs Sunday at Wembley. Who you all facing there?
We are playing Huddersfield Town, who have been in the Premier League a couple of times in recent years.
Years ago.
Yeah, and we need to be there now. This is the first time Nottingham Forest have been to Wembley since I've been alive.
Golly!
So I was born in 1993, and the last time that Forest were at Wembley was 1992.
That's probably the last. Well, I'm July of 92, so maybe.
Yeah, you were born after Forest were last at Wembley, and the first ever game I went to when I was 6 years old was the last time we ever played in the Premier League.
Who was the opponent?
Leicester City. We won 1-0, but we were already relegated.
Oh gosh!
And we beat Leicester 1-0, and we were trying to sing for Martin O'Neill because Martin O'Neill was the manager of Leicester, and he was a former player of ours, and we wanted him as our manager. We just got relegated. Why was he going to come to us? And we've never been back to the Premier League since. So it's a pretty important day.
Yeah, $200 million or £1 million day.
Yes, it's a £140 million tournament now, I think. Ooh. One game.
Bad news for Burnley, though.
Yeah, well, I do not, with all the respect in the world to Burnley, I do not want to be playing them next year.
Well, good luck to you guys, and hopefully instead of playing Burnley, you'll be playing Leicester City in the Premier League again.
What about Chelsea, buddy? When that happens, we can have a nice podcast on it.
Amen to that, Bubba. I like them apples. Pulisic against Nottingham Forest. Well, it's
Yeah.
Pulisic's there. Hopefully, we don't send him to Juve or Ports Unknown.
Well, hopefully he doesn't score against England in 6 months' time, whatever it is.
Oh, he might not score, but Brendan Aronson will score.
There you go. Whoever it is, we're winning the we're going to win the World Cup.
Oh, that sounds like you want to track shop now.
That's one that you can clip up for later.
Oh, I might.